Alright, hello. So, this is probably, well, my first proper video that I've ever bothered trying to record. So I apologize if the quality is not great or any of that. Recently I got a new PC, which is where I'm recording. My microphone's not great, but I'm planning on getting a new one. Whatever. But welcome to Subnautica. You guys have definitely heard of this game, and if you haven't, you've probably been living under a rock. But this is one of my favorite games out there. I genuinely love this game a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of details. A lot of things in this game I'm probably going to be talking about while I play it that a lot of people don't really think about. A lot of people don't really realize or what make it good. But we're just going to enjoy it. And I hope you guys can enjoy it with me. You can see I've got some saves here, but that's just normally spend too much time on this game. But this is going to be a session I'm going to be playing with you guys, separate from my own personal one, which, by the way, it's my birthday today. Right here, you can see that, 17th of January. I am 17 years old. So happy birthday to me, and I'm going to be using this time while I'm alone to just maybe try and get a video out, because I've been trying to get into recording some stuff recently, and I feel like this is a good way to do it. It's just play a game that I enjoy. The commentary might be subpar, and I might not really talk very much, but that's because I'm new to this, so if you guys have any advice, please let me know. But here we go. Bonk. Yeah. Oh. Here we go, we're gonna have to put out the fire now, aren't we? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we got our PDA. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to do, one of the things I'm going to be prioritizing at the current moment is repair tool. Good God. I always forget how amazing this game is every time I play it. That's awesome, man. Cheers, bro. Okay, in we go. So, one of the main things I'm going to be prioritizing is repair tool. I want to get Timmy here up and running again, and also the radio, because that's going to be important for the story later. But we'll just do the animation for this, and then head back in. And let's see. So we're going to need silicon rubber, cave sulfur, and titanium. That's fine. So, obviously, as I'm sure you guys have probably gathered, the way this game works is you crash on this alien planet. There's a big broken ship. It's not a very good idea to go near it at the start, because it's radioactive as shit, and also blows up later, and if you're inside it, I can't imagine that'd go too well for you. But you go around and collect resources, and you know, it's like metal salvage I just got, which gave me titanium. Your objective is basically just survive. It sounds like a pretty simple concept, but a lot of people tend to really forget how much... Oh shit, I hate these little fucks. a lot of people seem to tend to forget the amount of no, fuck you, go away. How intricate this game is, how much detail goes into it. Now there was this one guy on YouTube, big fan of him. His name's Scruffy, and he uploaded a video a while back, well, not too long ago, but decent while back, about the Snell's window. It's a light phenomenon, how light refracts on the water's surface, and he was talking about that and how this game does it to create immersion. And that's one of the things in Subnautica, really, is that it's a very immersive game. You know, playing this game, you really do feel like you're the one underwater. Like you're not just playing as some character. You really get involved with the game, and that's what I like about it so much. And the reason I enjoy playing it. Because there are so many intricate little details and stuff, and so much goes into this game. And I've never even beat it. I hope to achieve that on this playthrough. I hope to get to beat the game on recording and upload it to YouTube so that you guys can enjoy, you know, just another dumbass doing a recording of Subnautica. Yeah, like that's never been done before, huh? But if you guys truly want a very good playthrough of Subnautica to enjoy, there's a guy that I highly recommend. He's not very well known, but you might have heard of him because he makes very good content. I'm trying to talk PDA. Come on, man. Dude, shut up. Okay. Go watch a guy called Eclipse. He uploads very good content. His Subnautica series was incredible. So if you haven't heard of Eclipse already, go check him out. He's great. But let's listen to this first. Oh, that's nice. Awesome. So I've got my Pepsi that I'm drinking while I play this. We're gonna need a scanner. Now scanners are good. So what I'm gonna be doing throughout this is, since I've played this game before and know most of the ins and outs of the starting section, I guess, starting sequence, I guess, I don't know. I might treat this more like a guide for those who are new or haven't really played much of this game, because it might be useful for you guys to have someone do a playthrough, give you guys a bit of prior information. But one of the things, I'm gonna drown. Okay, that was far too close. Don't ever do that. But one of the things, I forgot what I was gonna say. Man, I'm smart. One of the things that I do recommend is play this game for yourself without any prior knowledge. So if you're watching this and you haven't played Subnautica, if you want to get the most out of this game, the most enjoyment and the most experience, go play it for yourself, because watching someone else's playthrough doesn't quite capture the experience, at least in my experience. It doesn't hit the same, if you get what I mean. So what I highly recommend you do is play it for yourself. Go enjoy the game. If you can't, because maybe you don't own it or you don't have the money to buy it or something like that. Number one, I feel very bad for you because this game's amazing and you truly are missing out, and I'm sorry for that. But just enjoy this, I guess. You can experience this game with me, and while this may not be my first experience of the game, it is my first experience of a lot of the later parts. Since the furthest I've ever really gotten, I haven't ever made a Cyclops, so that shows you just about how far I've got. If you don't know what a Cyclops is, you don't worry about it. It's not. To be fair, having one of them is an even particularly late game, and so that is why, you know, it's kind of might be shocking to some people that I haven't even got to that point yet, because it's kind of one of the first things you do really early off. And nah, the first thing that you get is a sea moth, or a sea glide technically, but then you get a sea moth. And then you head over to like the Aurora and you look around, and there'll be parts and stuff, fragments of Cyclopses and stuff. But that's all pretty late game, and considering I put like 2 hours into my other playthrough and didn't get to that point, kind of goes to show a bit. But yeah, this game's gonna be long, and I'm hoping to get as much content out of this as I can, because I like this game a lot, and I really don't want to miss out on playing it. So I've taken my opportunity to play this game with you guys. But that's 3 titanium. I want to get the most out of it, you know? But anyway, we need a metal salvage. Yeah. Metal... do you know what? It's funny, because I get metal salvages all the time. Run across them, and I think that they're fragments for me to scan. And I get so annoyed when I see that it's a metal fragment. But, I'm trying to talk. Yeah. Running into metal fragments while you're looking for like things to scan is a massive kick in the teeth, because they look like scanning things and then they're just not, and it gets irritating. But it's whatever. Maybe the best thing to get right now would be a flashlight. But I don't have any copper, so I think maybe the best course of action is to wait until daytime, seeing as I have no way to see at the moment. One thing that I'm a bit reckless at, which I recommend that you keep your eye on if you guys ever play this, or if you have played it or are currently playing it, keep an eye on your health, because I'm very reckless sometimes, and so I end up taking a bunch of damage like a moron, and that often results in me getting very close to death. I've never actually died, but I've come bloody well close to it, and it's scary. But anyway, we're gonna get a fire extinguisher. We're gonna turn this into glass because I'm gonna need that for a flashlight. Let's unpin that because we don't need it anymore. What new thing did I get? Oh, an air bladder. Okay. I need 3 titanium, which, considering titanium is super easy to get, it's kind of shameful, really, that I don't have it. But it's all good. I'm gonna check this just to make sure, because there is a thing sometimes that's on. And yeah, okay. We want neutral color grading and not filmic, because filmic makes it near impossible to see, and that's not very good. But I don't want to cut the creep vine. Fine, I'll cut the creep vine. Whatever. But we can get a good look around for any metal salvages that are just lying on the surface. Ocean floor. Because they're normally fairly common and you run into them all over the place, but as I'm sure you've guessed, the problem is that I can't see. And so that's better. If I... Oh, there's one. See? There's probably a bunch of them back there that I just didn't see because I was, you know, basically blind. Now, some of you might call me a cheater for turning my gamma up. That's fine. But it's just because I want this to be as progressive as possible, and I want to make sure that we get everything done that we can. And so if it's dark and I can't see and I'm having to wait until daytime, that doesn't really get much done, does it? And it's probably boring gameplay for you guys. And I don't want that. I want you guys to enjoy it. But you see what I mean? This shit's everywhere. It's all over the place. And again, it sometimes looks like scanner fragments, like mobile vehicle bay or sea glide, which are early things that you need to get. And so when I run into them, I get excited. I'm like, oh, goddamn, I might be able to get a sea glide. Nope, it's just a metal salvage. It's just titanium. Good God, it gets annoying. But whatever. We have the titanium now. We don't have any copper, so we can't make a flashlight just yet. But we can make O2 tank. Very cool. Okay. And the next one is the high capacity, which takes glass and silver ore. Which I know where you get that, so that's fine. But what we are gonna do is make silicon rubber, and then we're gonna make fins. So fins are very useful. We're gonna first off unpin that and pin that. Keep that pinned. All that's fine. I'm gonna need more quartz because I need one more glass. This creep vine sample's rotten apparently, but who cares? You can still use it. So we're gonna head out. We're gonna look for these neat little things, and I hope to God it gives me copper. That's not copper, is it? Let's have a look. Ooh. Oh, I just got a radio, but this is quartz galore. I'm gonna need all of this. Useful little shiny things. Yeah. Pick that up. Copper. Yeah. I'm on a roll. Pick that up. Copper. Fuck you. Copper. Yeah. Copper. Fuck you. Okay. I think we're good on resources for now. We won't need much more quartz. But the copper is definitely useful, and I'll be picking that up wherever I run into it. But what we need to look for are these funny little goobers. They look like the things we were breaking, but they're not. They're we're looking for the sandstone ones. Because sandstone chunks or outcrops will give us cool resources like gold and silver, and I forgot the other one, lead, I think. So if we find those, we can get our hands on some very interesting things. But unfortunately, We've not ran into one. And I keep getting titanium. Fuck you. Alright, if you hit those little guys, they fuck off. They're not that scary. Definitely want to be scanning those, because those are very, very helpful. These little boxes, very helpful. You'll come across stuff like this, which if you scan them, you get fragments. And when you have all the fragments, obviously you get the blueprint. Once you have the blueprint, you know what you need to make it. It's just a very common theme throughout the game. Very good way to steady progression. Some blueprints, for example, can only be found in certain areas, which you can only get to if you have like a vehicle, for example, or a rebreather. I think that's a very clever way of steadying the progression of the game and preventing people from going too far too quickly. But yeah, what we're going to be looking for are sandstone chunks, which contain the resources we need to make a high capacity O2 tank. Now the flashlight's as good as done, so I don't really care for that anymore. As soon as we get back we can make that. That's fine. But I don't want to go back until I've got what I came for, which is silver from these things. You see how they're smoother? Yeah. So the smoother looking ones are the ones we're after, not the rough ones. But as I said, it's currently very difficult to see. Hence why I want the flashlight. So we're going to head back up. In actual fact, I'm going to do this in advance because this helps me a lot personally. I'm just going to turn this to orange. And the only reason for that is because when I get a sea moth, I want to be looking for a blue beacon in the nearby vicinity. And if Timmy over here is red, that'll distinguish it. Because I don't want to make the same mistake Jacksepticeye made and accidentally go towards my life pod instead of my sea moth when I'm literally drowning, because that will just end up getting me killed. It's going to be Aussie, isn't it? No. Okay, we'll go check that out once I've got me a flashlight. Which... Fucking acid mushrooms. Fuck's sake. Yeah, good as done, he says. Completely forgetting the acid mushroom. Okay, that's fine. We're done now anyway. Electronics. Pardon me. Flashlight. Now what does a rebreather take? Because I'm pretty sure it's a wiring kit. Yeah, and a fiber mesh. And a wiring kit, if I remember, is 2 silver. Yeah. Okay. All good. We can get that. The fiber mesh is easy. You just go over to these guys. You chop them up a bit. And you can turn them into fiber mesh. So we'll get 3 of them, because we already have 1, and I think it takes 2 to make 1. If I remember right. But what we're going to be looking for are sea glide fragments, and also heading over to that life pod, because that'll be very good for us. Might have some useful stuff over there. Yeah, fiber mesh. 2 creep vine samples. All good. Let's put 1 in there, put all the quartz and stuff, copper. And make a storage, because already I'm running out of room. How's that happening? Yeah, go down here and deploy it. Okay, so now we have a storage. Good. Put some copper in there. Sorry if I talk too much, by the way. If you guys don't like me talking as much, and you'd prefer for me to just do a bit gameplay without waffling, let me know. Because I just wanna do what I enjoy, but I also understand that YouTube audiences and stuff have their preferences and their needs, and a lot of people prefer commentary. Hence, ooh, this is very good. Hence why I'm talking. That was useless. I didn't get a single thing that I needed. But I'm talking a lot because one of the things, obviously, that you pick up when watching YouTube, because I've watched YouTube since a very young age. It's my main source of entertainment, really. One of the things you pick up is that talking is good. Talking a lot, keeping your audience engaged is very good. And I am good at talking because I can talk to myself. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I can talk to myself and get enjoyment out of a game. I just talk about the things that are happening. I just talk about things that are on my mind, and it comes fairly naturally to me, really. I don't know if that's like depressing or not, but either way, I just want to play a game and maybe have a couple people enjoy the game with me, even if you're not necessarily here, even if you're not necessarily playing it. It can be difficult for some people, you know, talking to a screen, talking to someone who essentially isn't really there. But for me, it's a thing that comes naturally, and I guess that kind of makes me sound a bit mentally insane, but I'm not, I promise. I just get enjoyment out of this sort of thing, and this game is very fun as it is, so there's always a lot to talk about, really. So I just hope that you guys are able to enjoy it as well. But we've got all the resources we need. We've got the silver, which is a pain in the ass to get, but it's all good. So we can use that to make a wiring kit. And for you guys that don't know what a rebreather does, because the description isn't very straightforward, basically, you won't have heard it, but the PDA, if you go beneath 100 meters, the PDA will tell you some shit like, passing 100 meters, oxygen efficiency decreased. Which is basically saying your oxygen will go down faster if you're at a certain depth. A rebreather stops that from happening. So essentially I can now go to depths of 100, 200 meters and not have to worry about losing oxygen any quicker. Which I think goes without saying, that's very helpful to have. Where did that go? There, okay. We're gonna be heading over to here because from what I remember, this is where, that was my phone, this is where a good amount of sea glide fragments are, and a sea glide is like, holy shit, I really need that kind of thing because they're very useful, and right now I'm swimming ridiculously slowly. There we go. Perfect. That was so much faster than my last playthrough. Damn. What have you got? Compass. It's not too bad, I guess. Okay. We're making progress very quickly, apparently. But let's see what we just got.
You really think it'll carry two of us?
See if I can turn on subtitles. Whatever.
Your regular sea glide tows a mass of 80 kilograms at over 30 kilometers an hour. The power accelerator to this one should double that.
Do you think there's something out there that's faster?
I'm sure. That's assuming it doesn't overload 3 meters from the light body.
You're calm about this.
I'm seeing the engineering problem. If I stop seeing the maths, I'll be terrified.
they'll be terrified, guys. So again, we're just gonna go through here. Gonna pin that because I'm definitely gonna be needing that, and I'm gonna unpin everything else. So what do I need for that? That's copper wire lubricant. I can get all that. That's fine. Yeah, that's all good. So we just need one of these. And everything else is back at Timmy. So we'll head back to Timmy. And yeah, make ourselves a sea glide. You guys probably don't want to see me swim there, so I'm just gonna cut it. Okay, so we're back at Timmy. We're gonna head on in, and make ourselves a sea glide. So lubricant.
Is essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
Hold on, what? I have to. Oh, I got one? Fuck. That's shit. Okay, let's go get some more then.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
That's not good. Back aboard Timmy. We can finally make a sea glide. I need a copper wire and a battery. No, I need a power cell, don't I? It's a power cell, isn't it? Yeah. Oh wait, no, it is a battery. Okay. I'm stupid. So like everyone else, we'll put that in slot 1.
Exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
And one thing I've not been doing a good job of is keeping track of my food. So we're going to collect a couple of these dickheads. Come here. Hither. Oh, I hate them. Okay. And we're also going to need bladder fish, but luckily they glow. So we should be able to see that easy. Easy peasy when they appear, that is. There's one. There's a couple actually. Make us some food and stuff, because I'm dying. Okay.
Organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Yeah, but you say that PDA, but who knows? Who knows where the bottle comes from when they make the filtered water? Because you literally turn a fish into a bottle. I don't know how that happens. Buddy, it's this neat little thing called game design. But we've got ourselves a sea glide. I think the primary objective for the end of this is to get ourselves a mobile vehicle bay, because that will definitely be very helpful. The mobile vehicle bay fragments are typically around the creep vine areas. And then once we've made the mobile vehicle bay... Oh, never mind. Okay. New objective. Radio. We must investigate what the... I reckon this will be Ozzy. Ozzy from the cafeteria, as he says. Pretty sure he has some okay things at his life pod or around it. Yeah, Ozzy.
What the hell, guys? They didn't warn us this might happen. Our pod was almost crushed by the Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system. This grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull. Come get us already.
Yeah.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
I see, I went for it, man. I thought it was a fragment. But there might be mobile vehicle based stuff around here. Since...
Local scans show a nearby cave entrance.
Yeah, I agree.
90 meters.
I agree.
An unknown environmental biome.
What the fuck? But I'm pretty sure that Ozzy had some stuff near his base. He said he was almost crushed. Yeah, there's a Seamoth fragment. So he said he was almost crushed by the Seamoth Bay, which leads me to believe there might be Seamoth fragments. Yeah, that's for another day, bestie, I'm sorry. But there was something on the wall. Oh! Yes! Very good. Okay, look, reefbacks. Oh, I love them. Oh, they're so cool. Okay. Interesting little fact about the reefbacks. Not only is it actually possible to find resource outcrops on their back, but also they're basically the only mob in the game that can't kill you and you can't kill it. Which I think is really cool because they're just neutral. And I love things that are neutral because they don't hurt me and I don't like things that hurt me. But this is what I was talking about, the little area down here that's got some pretty interesting stuff that we might need for the future. Again, I can't really see anything at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, so we got a vending machine, which, in case you're wondering, you know, there's always much more important things to get than a vending machine. You are correct. However, what's good about vending machines is they actually do provide food. They're not just like a cosmetic thing, if I remember right. So you can actually get food out of them. Which in a game like this, which is heavily based around survival, that's very helpful to have. But that's a Seamoth fragment. No, it's a bioreactor fragment. Fucking I'm stupid. Interesting concept with the oxygen, actually. So, what's fascinating about the way they did it was it's like you're on a timer constantly, but it simultaneously doesn't create an enormous sense of urgency, and actually it almost reflects how progressed you are in the game at the time of that you're playing it. Because if you have, for example, a lot of oxygen, right, that's because you're far progressed. You have a lot of time to get stuff done. You have a lot of time to explore without having to really worry about dying. Whereas at the start of the game, if you want to do something, you can't just go and do it. You have to make sure that you've got enough time and enough oxygen to pull it off without, you know, drowning. Which I personally think is very interesting. And I think it's another very cool way that this game limits your progression. So you can't just go to locations that are super late game, because you won't even have enough oxygen to get there, never mind get there and explore and then go back. And I think that's great. And I think the way they pulled it off is amazing. Just like the way this game pulled off everything, really. I mean, we've just got a Seamoth before we have a mobile vehicle bay, but not to worry. Another thing this game did incredibly well is Snell's window, which is the light refraction thing I mentioned earlier, which is this. That circle. If I remember, I will leave a link to Scruffy's video explaining it, because I personally think it's extremely fascinating. And I personally really like how they did it, and it just really creates a sense of immersion, honestly, that you can't really find in many other games, and that's very cool. But we have a Seamoth blueprint somehow before we even got a mobile vehicle bay. My personal goal before I can end this video is to find a mobile vehicle bay, and potentially, if I have the energy, realistically, to make a sea moth. But I'm highly interested at the moment in these kinds of areas. That's a sea glide fragment. We already got that. We'll just take the titanium. But ooh, grav trap. They're not very useful, but it's just good to have it, isn't it? I'm interested in just making a decent amount of progress, making my life a bit easier for the next time I play. Without having to do all of this. God's sake, sea glide. And that'll just make everything much easier for me. And much easier for you guys to watch. Because I don't want this to be too fast paced, but at the same time I don't want it to be so slow and arduous that you guys just don't want to watch it. I want this to be an engaging video. I might not be great at that, and I might just be rambling from your guys' perspective. And that's fine. But if that is how you feel, or you don't feel particularly engaged by the video, one thing I would greatly appreciate is just a bit of advice. Yeah, let's go. Bit of advice in the comments. Maybe I'll put out a community post. Again, I'm not very well known, am I? I've not even got 20 subs. But I want you guys to give me your opinions on how I record and how I play games and stuff, if anybody sees this, that is. Because I'm very interested. I love taking criticism. I love developing myself further, especially when it comes to things I enjoy. Taking advice, and sometimes giving advice as well if I feel the confidence to do so, is something that means a hell of a lot to me. So I'd love to be able to do that. But we've got our sea glide, now we need this. Which is a titanium ingot and a power cell. So the titanium ingot we can make. The power cell, I fear we can't. Now, we can make one of the components needed for it. We can also make another one of the components needed for the actual vehicle bay itself, which is the lubricant. But we can put this in there and all of this that we don't really need right now, because that's all fine. And head out and go get us not only some acid mushrooms, but also some copper. Yep. Well, this is interesting, but that's a grav trap fragment, which I'm 90% certain I already have. Yeah. All good. Beacon fragment, that's good. Beacons are useful. But as the phrase goes, the reason I'm just collecting stuff willy-nilly and getting a bunch of fragments that I already have is because, as the phrase goes, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So even though titanium is extremely common and I can get it nearly any time I need it, I just want to have it in advance because I think it's a good game plan. I think it's a good way to keep your resources topped up. Good way to move forward in this game is if you can pick up resources early on, even if you don't necessarily need them. It's a good idea to get them anyway, simply because if you don't have them, you have to go out and get them, and that can be a pain, like I'm having to do with this copper because I can't find any. So, you know, it's a good idea, innit? Which now means we can make this old chum. Which, Christ alive, it takes a long time to make. Huh? Okay, there we go. And we are gonna deploy this right out in the deep end. Just because I know the game likes to complain if you try to make the Cyclops later on. If you're not in deep enough water, it'll throw a tantrum. That is not too expensive. We can make that. That's perfect. That's a very good place to end the video. So we're gonna do that now. God, I have so much titanium. We're just gonna do that now, because that's possible.
Local radiation readings suggest the Aurora's drive core has reached critical state. Quantum detonation will occur within 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, fair enough. So we just need to go get lubricant and a bit of copper, which we can find within minutes. I wouldn't say seconds, just because I am genuinely like having trouble finding this shit because there's no outcrops around, and it's starting to annoy me because I want to make progression. Game like, no. But there's quartz, and I did just use a bunch of quartz, so I'm glad that I'm being reimbursed. Copper, yeah, perfect. More? No dice. But anyway. Yeah, game's reimbursing me on my quartz, that's fine. I'll take that any day of the week. Now we just head back up to the surface. I know some people might be concerned about the constant scanning thing popping up in the bottom right corner. I can assure you, it's just asking me to scan things that are basically completely useless. Like, look, this is one of them. Just wants me to scan creep fine. Which just, we already know what it does, so what's the point? We have a radio message. We can listen to that, but prioritize the Seamoth and use the Seamoth to get there in the next episode, because I'm not doing that today. I've been recording for 55 minutes. Good Christ. Yeah, I know, game. So it's just, sorry, it was just telling me that the silicone rubber is ready, but the reason I'm running off before picking it up is because I was stupid and forgot that I need 2 creepvine clusters to make the lubricant and the silicone rubber. Make ourselves the lubricant. Make ourselves the power cell. And that's everything. Here we go.
Is a fast, safe mode of transport, but remember that swimming is good for your glutes and endorphin levels.
So there's our Seamoth. But anyway, that's a very good place to leave this episode off. So I'm just gonna go park this up by the life pod, but that's a very good place to leave this episode. So I'm gonna leave it here. And hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are intrigued by this game and want to see as much progression as I do. Let's just listen to this quickly.
Over. None of the vacuum. These Altera ships. They run low on engine grease, send an SOS. You know, help, they will pick up. Aurora, I'm out on the far side of the system. It's gonna take more than a week to reach your position. You still need our assistance. Over.
I don't know, we might, you know, it's just a possibility.
Damn charter's gonna have us blowing our credits running errands for Altera. See what the long range scans pick up in the meantime.
But yeah, that's a very good place to leave it. I'm happy to have recorded this. I've had a very good time doing it. It's clearly something that's meant for me, I guess, because I talk way too much, and that's useful for recording a YouTube video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys want to see more. That is, if anyone even sees this video. And yeah, see you later.